Anderson.
Good afternoon and welcome to Intel's CES press conference. We're excited to have you here today. Over the next hour, the leaders of our client computing business and data-centric businesses, Gregory Bryant and Naveen Shenoy, will make announcements about several new products, innovations, and partnerships spanning devices, the data center in the cloud, the network, and edge computing, including autonomous driving. And this is why Professor Amnon Shashua, CEO and CTO of Intel's Mobileye, will join us near the end of the event to share some exciting news. So please pay close attention today. We'll be launching the newest edition of our 9th Gen Core family. We'll be disclosing industry partnerships and upcoming products for accelerating innovation in 5G, AI, and autonomous driving. And we'll be underscoring how our 10 nanometer development is on track with several new product updates. And I want to emphasize that this news is set against the backdrop that Intel's strategy is working. We're making excellent progress in pursuing an expanded $300 billion addressable market opportunity that includes a range of data-driven segments spanning the most important workloads today and for the next era of computing, and on a scale that's unmatched by others. But before we get started, a few housekeeping items. First, please silence your phones. Second, right after this event, we'll be posting details of our news on the Intel newsroom, and we'll be continuing to update the newsroom tonight and through the week with additional news, photos, and videos, so please keep checking back to the site. And finally, we invite you to join us at our booth all this week at the Convention Center to get a close-up look at our products and innovations. And with that, we'll now start the program. Thank you.
Imagine a resource so plentiful that it can never be depleted. A resource that's invisible to the naked eye, yet is everywhere around us. In every place, in every purpose, in every person on Earth. It's the resource we call human potential. And today, the expansion and evolution of human potential is tied to the expansion and evolution of technology's potential as never before. It's an expansion we work to accelerate every single day, with engineering and manufacturing innovations that continually test and push the very limits of science and the physical universe, enabling an ever-expanding portfolio of data-centric solutions built to power the future of technology from end to end. From the client, to the cloud, to the network, to the edge, to billions of smart things, devices, and most importantly, the people who depend on them. Because the way we look at it, building the future isn't really about expanding the potential of technology. It's about expanding the potential of the people who use it.
Please welcome Senior Vice President and General Manager, Client Computing Group, Gregory Bryant.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to CES. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm really excited to be here today. And as you all know, we're in the early stages of a new era in computing. And that's an era that's really being defined by the innovative use of data on every technology platform, from the client to the cloud, the network to the edge, and increasingly everywhere in between. And it means that bringing the benefits of this data-centric era of computing to the world, it's more important than ever that we design technologies that work together seamlessly. And it's really this purpose and the challenge that drives all of us here inside of Intel. And that's why we've been evolving our company from one that historically has almost exclusively been a PC-centric company to a data-centric company. A data-centric company that's delivering platforms and solutions across the breadth of the market and the opportunity in front of us. As Laura said, a $300 billion opportunity, a $300 billion TAM, the largest we've ever pursued as a company. And yes, that still includes the client and PCs, but now also includes AI, 5G, the data center, autonomous driving, and even more that we're going to touch on today. Now, I like to believe that PC is the human touch point and a critical touch point in this new data-centric era of computing, which means I have one of the most fun jobs on the planet. And with that, let's just jump right in and get going. So you all know we're living in a world with a plethora of connected client devices, whether that's the phone, the watch, appliances, and even more, right? But what makes the PC special, what makes the PC client unique is really that it's the place that people go to focus. In fact, we've done a lot of research and we found that 80% of people choose the PC as the place they go to focus and do the work that matters most to them. Whether that's running their business, creating content, collaborating, working in their communities, etc. The PC is that place where they go to do what matters most to them. Now, obviously what matters most to people varies greatly by individual. It's a broad market and no one delivers the breadth of leadership products from entry clients to two-in-ones to thin-and-lights to creator PCs to workstations like we do at Intel. And I wanted to show you some of the products that we've been working on today. Now, most recently, you saw us launch our first 9th generation core processors in our desktop family. And that was really headlined by our desktop K SKUs and the Core i9-9900K, the unlock processor. It's the best gaming processor on the planet. And it's earned a lot of praise, 10 world records, 11 global first places, and a lot of accolades from gamers all around the world. But we wanted to take that leadership performance even further and build the family out from entry all the way through to the high end. So today, I'm pleased to be here to announce that we are launching 6 new 9th generation core desktop processors from Core i3 all the way up to Core i9. Now this full family of processors is going to enable anyone from casual users all the way up to professionals to have the performance they need to do what matters most to them. So what I thought we'd do is have a little fun today to start things off, to demonstrate the power and performance in the creative segment. And I've invited Kavehi, who you saw is the one-woman band who started the show, and producer and composer Kevin Doucette to join me to help show what these processors are capable of. So hey guys, thank you so much. You're amazing. Yeah, great to join us at CES. So now normally when we talk about music and content creation, you think there's a band, there's a guitar, there's some drums, but you don't have that.
No, I ain't got no band. Just me. But with technology, I get to be the guitar player. I can be the drummer. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, essentially the PC is our essential instrument now. I mean, when I'm doing some film scores, I have a whole virtual orchestra at my fingertips sometimes, and I can just be creative at any moment.
So can you give us an example? Tell us more about how
Yeah, we'd love to. It's all here, so why not? So why don't you just give us a bit of music here. So some of you may not know this, but Kavehi became an international star overnight with a loop-based composition similar to this. But we thought it'd be nice to kind of pick up where she left off at the end when you guys were walking in and kind of finish off the composition together, right? So it'd be fun. So there'll be a lot going on. We've got 2 systems, we're really pushing them to the max. But essentially she's using Ableton Live, which she'll have a whole modular setup with loops and layers that she can pick and choose at any moment. And I've got, like I mentioned, a rig that has literally any instrument I want. I've got a piano here, I can scroll through, show you guys as we're playing. Bass, drums, you name it, I can play. It's very creative.
All right, so I'm maybe not following all of it, but I know that the PC is the instrument you're using.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So why don't you, can you go ahead and
we'd love to.
Together?
Add some vocals.
Can't you see toys that we shouldn't read? Question your authenticity.
So it's pretty amazing. In just those 2 steps, she added layers in real time, and now she's looping, and she was also playing chords, so you should have the harmonies playing for. So why don't I add my part now? Let's pick a piano here. Yeah. All the samples you're hearing are coming from the piano, from the desktop.
Building small screens, can't you see? Telling stories that we shouldn't believe. Yeah, I question your authenticity. You'll never be cool like me. be
Very nice. Let's add another layer.
Yeah, here we go. Music
Oh, I like that. That's nice. All right, it's like the lyrics were written for me.
Yeah.
You'll never be cool like me. I think I got that.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, so hey, it's really cool to watch you guys work. And in the past, people would have thousands of dollars of equipment, a studio. So you've got to be using incredibly top of the line equipment, right?
Well, yeah, no, actually,
No.
surprise, yeah, yes and no. So Kavei's rig is an upcoming Intel 9th Gen Core i5 Lenovo all-in-one, beautiful system, and I've got an amazing HP Omen desktop, Obelisk, and they're just great. I mean, we've really pushed them.
So all that music being done by that Lenovo all-in-one
Exactly.
HP.
Yep.
So thank you guys very much. I thought it sounded absolutely amazing. I think, we're trying to give you all the performance you need to be as creative as you want. So thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, let's give them a hand. It's fantastic. Okay, and hey, today I'm also pleased to share that we're not only launching our 9th generation core desktop processors today, we'll also be bringing 9th generation core processors to our mobile family, our H series line, just next quarter in Q2, bringing that same high level of performance for gamers, content creators, productivity to our mobile H series line. So stay tuned for that. We're very, very excited. Now, I want to since we switched gears to mobile, I want to talk about mobile more in more general and what people have come to expect in the mobile compute experience. And put simply, people really want a no-compromise experience. We've worked with our customers, with industry partners, we've done end-user research, and we really wanted to understand what drove the ideal mobile platform. And it came down to kind of three basic, three fundamental things. One, people want a platform that helps them focus, which we hit on earlier in the presentation. Second is people want a platform that adapts to them, that can change as they change their roles in the day, that's intelligent. And third, people want a platform that's always ready to go. That's a combination of performance and connectivity and battery life, but they want that system to be instantly ready and always ready to go. Those three things were the most important. So to deliver on that, as you can imagine, we had to go way beyond just the CPU and think at a platform level. And we had to develop systems that had unprecedented levels of integration and optimization. And I'm excited to tell you I've got an example of that here with me today. So for the first time anywhere in public today, I'm going to demonstrate and we're going to show our Ice Lake first volume 10 nanometer client SoC. That's what this is it right here. This is Ice Lake in my hand. Now, what I wanted to emphasize was this is way more than just the CPU, and it's packed with a bunch of firsts. Okay, it's the first client platform we've done that takes advantage of our Sunny Cove CPU new microarchitecture. It's the first platform to have our all-new Gen11 integrated graphics, which is going to have a huge lift in performance. It's the first platform where we integrated Thunderbolt 3 natively into the SoC. It's the first platform where we've integrated Wi-Fi 6, which used to be called 802.11ax, into this SoC. And it's the first time we've integrated new instructions for machine learning called DL Boost to accelerate inference-based workloads on the client. All that is packed into this SoC. And of course, because we're talking about mobile computing, you'll see it integrated into some wonderful thin and light 2-in-1 and convertible systems. And of course, all with uncompromising performance and responsiveness. So to show that off a little bit, I wanted Chuck to come out and show us Ike Lace in action. So Chuck, why don't you quickly show folks what we've got?
Okay, so again, these Ice Lake systems are tremendous systems. They're very fast. They've got all those features that you were just talking about. So we invited a couple of our ODMs to take a look at those. So here we have a Pegatron system. Again, have Office running on here. This gives you that all-day battery life and that performance. So you can get great performance at work and on the road. I have another system here. This is from Wistron. Now, GB was talking about that Gen 11 graphics. So you can see we have a 4K screen on here, so that helps drive those brilliant displays, get the best battery life and that brilliant display at all times. But again, it's not just about CPU performance and GPU performance, it's the new things that Ice Lake brings to the table, like AI. Now, we talked about earlier how you would have a system that you could do deep learning, and it used to be only on the Xeon and on the client, but now you can actually have it on the client itself. So I'm going to show you how AI can actually make things simpler for your life. Now, we all have hundreds of photographs on our system, right? And going through all those pictures, trying to find the right photograph, that can be kind of a pain.
A ton at holiday.
Exactly.
Christmas and New Year.
So we've written a little script here. I'm going to go ahead and enter on both of these. Now, this script is going to go through, it's going to look at all those hundreds of photos that I have on each system. And you're going to see it's going to look through all those systems I've put in a category of water. So it's going to find all those pictures I have that have water. And you're going to see with each of these systems, even though I have a Core i7 8th gen CPU here, when I bring in the advantages of Ice Lake, it's going to happen and go through those pictures much, much faster.
Right.
You're going to see, actually, in this case, a 1.5x improvement when I go through and look for pictures with water.
That's right, that's right. Now we've seen with Ice Lake, we've seen that we can accelerate this kind of inference-based workload 50%, 70%, maybe even 2x, right?
Exactly. Once this is early silicon, but once that comes on, when those DL boost comes on also, we expect, like you said, 2x performance boost.
That's right. Great. And I think hopefully that's a usage model that I think everyone can relate to. Okay, and in addition to that, I think you've got another example where you're putting Ice Lake through the paces.
Well, gaming is another big thing that we love to do. So before in the past, when you had a system this thin, this light, you had to sacrifice something. It usually was that CPU performance and GPU performance. But now with Ice Lake, you're not sacrificing nothing. So we've also got Thunderbolt on this one system. So you see one cable. I've got a cable here so you can hear the game. But I got one cable going to a monitor, keyboard, mouse, and external storage, and yet I still have that tremendous Gen11 graphics performance to give you this type of gaming solution all in one simple solution.
So now you got to take a breath because we did that really fast. You showed Ice Lake in the form factor, great CPU, graphics, AI workload acceleration, gaming, and Thunderbolt 3 integration all in that package.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey.
Now, Chuck showed the ODM systems that we're working, obviously, as we progress toward launch for holiday this year in 2019. But I wanted to go one step further today, since it is CES, and invite out one of our major customers to talk about their work on Ice Lake. So please join me in welcoming the president of Dell Client Solutions Group, Sam Bird, to join me out on stage. Hey, Sam. Hey, man.
How you doing? Good to see you.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about working on Ice Lake and the work that we've been doing together?
Yeah, hey GB, I'm excited about the great partnership we've built and the amazing best-in-class products we've been able to deliver together. So it's been going really well.
You guys have driven some amazing innovation. Now, I know you brought the system with you today, so
yeah,
show folks and talk a little bit about it.
Sure, love to do a little show and tell here. And I wanted to share with everyone, you just talked about Ice Lake. I'm pleased to let you know that we've got your Ice Lake 10 nanometer CPUs running in early engineering builds of our XPS line of products. And before I came here, GB, at your request, I ran into the lab and grabbed one of those systems out of the hands of our engineers. So I've got a great XPS here that will be coming with your Ice Lake CPUs that we're super excited about.
Now, I know we can't do the detailed reveal right now because it's a little bit early. So I appreciate you guys taking that out and bringing it out here and talking to us about it. So tell me in terms of some of the features that you guys really designed that chassis around. Why don't you hit some of the highlights?
Yeah, hey, so we've been really designing the systems around the high level of integration that you've built into Ice Lake. So as we look at it, we're excited about things like performance, battery life, graphics, connectivity, and the enhancements you've made in those areas and being able to take them over to the system.
Oh, that's great. So I can't wait to see this on shelves for holiday, and obviously love the innovation and the work that we've been doing together.
Yeah, hey, we're super excited about that, GB. I'm excited about the work we're doing together on Project Athena, and I think with everything coming, we're going to have a great year of updates to be sharing with all of you.
I'm going to talk about Project Athena in a minute. So with that, let's give them a big thank you. Thanks, Sam, for coming on, sharing with us. I appreciate it. Now, as Sam started to allude to, I really believe that platforms like Ice Lake kind of establish the foundation for the next era of mobile computing. And if I was going to give you just one bit of context, I think most of you remember 8 years ago we started an industry initiative, and a program around the Ultrabook. And in Ultrabook, we really changed the game. We rallied the whole industry around driving a wave of mobile innovation to drive thinner, lighter, better mobile products. And a lot of the products you see in the marketplace today, thin and lights, convertibles, touchscreen, was a result of the work we did with our industry partners. on Ultrabook. So we believe it's time to do that again. We are rallying all of our partners in the industry around our program, the future of mobile computing, called Project Athena. And it's really all rooted in that extensive research that we've done around what people really want in the mobile experience. And just as we did in Ultrabook, we believe we can create an entirely new class of devices and a much better experience. Anybody can optimize for one vector. It takes a lot of talent, time, energy, innovation of the whole industry to optimize the entire platform and the entire system. And that's what we're set out to do, and we're seeing great ecosystem support for this already. Okay, so far I've talked about kind of the products, a lot of the innovation we're bringing to market in the very near future. And I know that many of you have also heard about, read, or even, I'm sure, wrote about some of the pretty dramatic changes in our CPU architecture, our packaging technologies, and some of the innovation we're doing to really push the limits of what's possible. Now I'm going to get a little bit geeky for a minute, so bear with me. But at the same time, I think you'll appreciate how some of these new technical innovations are helping us bring new value to our partners and to end users at the same time. So what I'm going to talk about now for the first time anywhere is one of the first products that takes advantage of that architecture and innovation, and that is codenamed Lakefield. Now, I'm going to show you a little animation on how Lakefield was put together. We took a new approach that's allowing us to integrate different CPU core architectures into a single product, and we call that a hybrid CPU. So what you're looking at in this animation is a processor that has 5 cores. It has a 10 nanometer high performance Sunny Cove core, and it's combined with 4 Atom-based cores, so you get low power efficiency, immersive graphics, I/O memory, all in this tiny SoC, which is approximately 12 millimeters squared. We're pairing this hybrid CPU architecture with an innovative 3D packaging approach that we call FOVEROS, where we're able to actually stack different pieces of IP together in 3 dimensions instead of just 2. So that SoC is now packed with all the technology in 3D that people come to expect. Drives longer battery life, performance, connectivity. And of course, I don't think you have to be a PhD in material science or packaging technology to understand what it means. It means we can do smaller chips, smaller boards, more efficient, better designs. It's going to unleash some great performance, some great platform innovation in the industry, and even more innovative devices. So, we're not talking about just a minor decrease in size. I wanted to show you the Lakefield board that we built inside of Intel. You know, here it is. This is Lakefield on a reference board that we have done in-house. This is our smallest full PC motherboard. Yeah, we can decide this. The whole point of doing this very, very small motherboard and a full PC experience at this kind of scale is to unleash innovation in the industry with our partners in smaller sizes. Think below 11-inch form factors. Think dual screens. Think about in the future even designs that may fold, having this in one of the halves of the system. Right? This kind of innovative form factor can go many, many places, and we're excited of what this could bring. And now, on top of doing just the board, we've also done some reference design work inside of Intel as we brought up Lakefield and brought it to life, and Chuck's going to show us a couple examples of that today. So, Chuck, do you want to talk about what you've got there?
Absolutely. Like you said, this is early reference designs, but I'm super excited to show you exactly how far we've come with these Lakefield boards. Here you can see I've got a smaller system. I've got a video up and running. I've also got the display monitor running, so you can see that heterogeneous computing display working up there. And I've also got a little larger form factor here. I've got a movie playing, full desktop OS experience, looking fantastic.
Right. So I mean, we wanted to go even beyond and show you Lakefield working in systems today, that it's possible, scaling down to very, very low standby power and small designs as he's got there, but also scaling up in performance to kind of full PC experience. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk more about what's to come, and please stay tuned through 2019. We'll have a lot more to say about Lakefield. So thank you, Chuck. Give him a big hand for me. Thanks. Okay, and I wanted to finish my time with you today by giving you an example now that really talks about how we're working with partners end to end, as I kind of initiated, as I started things off, from the data center through the network to the client. And I've got a great partner of ours to do that with me today. Please welcome with me the President of Technology, Products, and Experience at Comcast, Tony Werner, out on stage. Let's give him a hand. Hey, Tony. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, thanks. So, hey, you know, we've been working together for a long time, but we've got some new news today. Why don't we start with just a little bit on some of the work that we've done together recently around you guys driving gigabit service to people's homes and businesses. How's it going?
No, it's great, and you know, there's been a lot of the Intel technology that's really helped us. We've reached what I think is a pretty big milestone: 58 million homes passed where gigabit service is available, and a lot of that is the Puma system on a chip.
That's right.
Some of the other products that we're getting out of Intel, and I think that's fantastic. But is what I'm more excited about is what I think is new news.
That's right.
And that's really the work that you're doing, where you're partnering with us, partnering with the industry to bring 10 gigabit full duplex technology and speeds to our network as we go forward. And this is really going to, it's the next generation of technology. It'll allow us to take what we've already launched up by 10-fold and give us symmetrical speeds, just really changing the home.
Wow, I just can't imagine getting 10 gigabit to the home, and we're incredibly happy to be partnering with you to bring that technology to homes.
Very cool.
In America. On top of that, you and I have always talked about it's not just getting the more bandwidth to the home, it's actually improving the Wi-Fi experience in the home and getting gigabit speeds inside of the home, and we're working together on that as well.
100%. I mean, Wi-Fi is the workhorse of the home network. It's what everything connects to. People don't want wires in the home where they don't have to have them. And so, you know, we're demonstrating this week in your booth where we've got one of our advanced gateways with Intel technology inside of it, going to Intel clients doing well north of a gigabit per second.
That's right.
So we're demonstrating that, but what's also more exciting is I think our work together on Wi-Fi 6.
That's right.
Which is going to take the speed up, but it's also almost unlimited the number of devices that will be able to connect, which is really critical as we go to this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 devices per home, everything from garage door openers to doorbells.
That's right.
To
That's
other
right.
things.
Well, I just showed the Isolate client, which has the
100%.
Wi-Fi 6 integrated into it. I think it's a great example of how we're partnering together, you know, working 10 gigabit service in the cloud and the network, all the way through to the gateway in the home, and then even through to the client devices which have Wi-Fi integrated. And it's great to have a partner like you to do that. Now, just to kind of paint the picture, now we've got 10 gigabits to the home, gigabit service inside of the home. What kind of content and services can you imagine that would be delivered through that kind of capability?
I think we can imagine all kinds. I mean, there's going to be immersive content, multiplayer esports, responsive VR designs, tons more. Some of the things that you've seen here, but I think that there is going to be a lot of things that we're going to want to deliver to the home with that speed.
No, that's right. In fact, the video behind you playing is actually an example of volumetric video, immersive content around sports. And these are actual athletes, some of them in a real environment, some of them in a studio environment being filmed. And it's just one example of kind of immersive content that we can take to the home with this kind of bandwidth and low latency.
100%.
Yeah. So, and with that, I did want to also announce today that as partners for the Olympics, we're going to be collaborating with Comcast, working together to take this kind of immersive Olympic content to consumers, starting with the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, which we're very, very excited about.
I am really excited. I think the partnership between, you know, Comcast, NBC, and Intel, I think 2020 Olympics are going to be about as fantastic as anything
I can't wait. It's going to be a ball. Well, hey,
great.
Matt, thank you for joining me today. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks a lot.
Give him a big hand. Okay, so hey, as I mentioned at the top of the program, the new era of computing is really about leveraging the power of data from client to the edge to the cloud to deliver an amazing array of new experiences. So to talk more about those amazing experiences, please join me in welcoming Naveen Shenoy to the stage. So Naveen, come on out.
All right. Are you guys having a good time? Okay, good. So look, we wouldn't ordinarily be at the Consumer Electronics Show to talk about the data center. But we've come to recognize that the data center is sort of this quiet force behind the scenes that moves and stores and processes data and creates value for all of us. And so I'd love to share everything we're doing in the data center today, but we have a limited amount of time. I'm going to zip around a little bit and try to share a few highlights from across the vast infrastructure that our technology is supporting every day all around the world. And I'm going to start with the heart and soul of the data center, and that is the Xeon microprocessor. Believe it or not, the Xeon turned 20 years old last year. And in the past 20 years, we've been making and driving Xeon forward to ensure that it's the industry-leading processor everywhere. And we've done that by delivering advancements year in after year out for our customers. Our long history in doing this is one of the reasons why our current Xeon has 95 performance world records, and why we have confidence that we will maintain this as we look forward. Today, I'm happy to announce that we, at the tail end of 2018, began shipping our next generation Xeon, codenamed Cascade Lakes. Cascade Lakes is designed to handle processing the world's data. We've added many new capabilities to this product that we're very excited about, that we'll talk a little bit more about over the course of this afternoon. First and foremost, we've added a new advanced performance capability with 48 cores for the most demanding workloads. Second, we've added AI features like Intel Deep Learning Boost that I'll show you in a bit to accelerate the latest AI workloads. Third, we've added a truly groundbreaking technology called Optane Persistent Memory. This is a technology that we've been at for a decade now, and it's faster than solid-state drives, but applications can recognize it as a large memory. And what that allows you to do is deliver benefits that, unlike today's memory, you can have persistence. In other words, the data will maintain even when the power is out. And so, as I said, Cascade Lake and Optane Persistent Memory have been designed for data from the ground up. And one place where we see this incredible data transformation happening is in the retail industry. And if I take you back 3 months to the world's biggest shopping day, not Black Friday, not Cyber Monday, the largest single shopping day on the planet is on November 11th, 11/11. It's a huge one-day online shopping event, also known as Singles Day. It's celebrated in China every year on November 11th. And at $30 billion in sales on that single day, it's bigger than Black Friday, it's bigger than Cyber Monday combined by quite a bit. And the company, of course, that's behind this event is Alibaba. And we've been working with Alibaba since almost the day they were founded. And I'm proud to say that we worked closely with Alibaba on Cascade Lakes and Optane Persistent Memory. They deployed it in their production environment for a data access and caching storage system. Optane Persistent Memory allowed them to expand their available memory and thereby improve the ability to handle a surge of customers on November 11th. So today I'm excited to talk about a way in which we're expanding our collaboration with Alibaba. We caught up with Alibaba's Chief Marketing Officer, Chris Tung, just a couple of days ago at their headquarters in Hangzhou, and I'll let him tell you a little bit about it.
Hello to everyone at CES. I'm sorry I cannot be there in person to celebrate Alibaba's long partnership with Intel. Together, we're already building the future of digital commerce. Alibaba's November 11th Global Shopping Festival has become one of the most anticipated days of the year in China and internationally. And this year, we set new records, doing $30.8 billion in sales. Intel's next generation Xeon scalable processors and Intel Optane DC persistent memory helped Alibaba reach new heights for the world's largest online sale. The new Intel platform can efficiently process massive amounts of data in real time, enabling our digital commerce applications to deliver a smooth and responsive user experience. Alibaba and Intel are also working together on computing, AI, and IoT technologies to power new retail by digitalizing offline retail businesses. At Alibaba, there is a saying that goes, "Today's highest performance is tomorrow's starting point." Intel and Alibaba are companies that are constantly challenging ourselves and striving for the best. It is a spirit that's also represented by the Olympic movement. Alibaba and Intel are both worldwide partners of the Olympics, and I'm happy to announce our next collaboration that will take us there. Alibaba Cloud and Intel will deliver the first ever AI-powered 3D athlete tracking during the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. This groundbreaking technology will provide fans with more compelling insights into how world-class athletes perform and compare to one another. We are very proud to work with Intel to reimagine the future of the Olympics and to bring the new experiences and excitement to all audience of the Games. Thank you, Naveen, and all of Intel for being transformative partners. My best wishes for a successful CES.
Okay, so we're thrilled about our partnership with Alibaba, and as Chris said in that video, we've developed a novel technology concept called 3D athlete tracking. Unlike the way this is done today, there's no special suits, there's no special sensors here. What we're doing is taking the data from regular cameras, we're applying an AI algorithm, a bunch of compute power, and what you end up with is a super accurate digital model of the athlete's performance. And you can imagine that you can analyze that information in many different ways. It's going to help the way the audience can experience the Olympic Games in sort of real time, but also we're finding that it's going to help the athletes themselves in the process of training for the Olympic Games. And so we're working with a number of partners to bring this to life. We're working with Alibaba, as you heard about. We're also working with some interesting new companies that I want to tell you about now. We're working with a company called Wrench. This is a computer vision and deep learning software engineering company. And what I'm going to do is have the CEO of that company, Dr. Paul Kruszewski, join me here and tell you a little bit about how we're working together to bring ideas like that to life. So Paul, would you join us, please? Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
My pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about Wrench.
So Wrench AI is the world's fastest and most accurate human pose estimation platform, which extracts 3D human motion and behavior data from standard video. Our trained model takes 23 skeletal tracking points from live video in real time, which enables us to analyze video data that just wasn't possible before.
That's great, and I understand you've been using Cascade Lakes and using some of the AI algorithms that you have on that. Tell us about that.
Yes, we've been working with some great Intel engineers to see just what Xeon processors could do for Wrench AI. I'd like to show you what we've been able to accomplish so far. What I'm showing here are two systems running Wrench AI. On the one side is our standard GPU configuration, and on the other side is with the new Intel processors. John, if you can start the demo, we can see how the results stack up. So both systems are now tracking the human movement in the video, on the exact same video. With our current solution on a GPU, we're inferencing around 90 frames a second. But on the Cascade Lake platform, optimized with Intel DL Boost, we're inferencing at 450 frames, which just blows my mind.
Now, if my math is right there, that's 5x faster, is that right?
It's 5x, and we've only really started.
So there's this perception out there that you can only, you need GPUs, and that's the only way to do AI. What's your experience been?
That was our perception going into this project. Felt exactly the same way as everyone else, but the results speak for themselves. It totally changed our minds. I don't think it's any more about CPU versus GPU. The results are fantastic, and we're really excited to bring this Xeon compute to our cloud system.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. We're
Pleasure.
looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch. Okay. So we're super excited about the potential for things like 3D athlete tracking for the Tokyo 2020 Games. Together with our Olympic partners, we're going to be bringing this out for a bunch of events, and you can expect that as we head into Beijing in 2020, we'll take it even further. Now, AI, as you heard about, was sort of fundamental to making that experience possible. And as we think about AI, and we think about its impact on the world, we've really thought about it as a fundamental shift, a once in a decade or once in a multiple decade kind of shift. Over time, AI is going to be essentially everywhere. We won't really be talking about AI companies a few years from now because every company will be using or processing or enabling AI in their everyday existence. We think about AI across two dimensions. One is the dimension of location. Where is the AI being processed? At the edge, on one hand, locally, for example, in a drone or an autonomous car. And on the other hand, at the data center or in the cloud. The other dimension, of course, is by workload. And in the AI world today, there's sort of two primary types of workloads that we've come to talk about. Training workloads and inference workloads. And Intel's investing to be a leader across all of these dimensions. You've heard a lot about training over multiple years now, but one area where we haven't really had a breakthrough yet is on inference. This tends to be a more difficult problem. We showed you some of what we're doing here with Cascade Lakes and DL Boost and the work we're doing with Wrench and other companies to accelerate on Xeon. GB showed you a little bit about what we're doing there on the client. But there's a need for us to push even harder and even further on inference. And today I'm excited to announce that we are introducing an entirely new class of AI chip from Intel built specifically to solve our customer problems on inference. And that is the Intel Nervana Neural Network Processor, or the NNPI for short. We expect the NNPI, when we bring it out later in 2019, to deliver industry-leading TOPS per watt or performance per watt on real production inference workloads. We'll bring it out into the market in the second half of this year. It's going to be important for many new inference applications like image recognition, image classification, and that will be important in new domains like social media. In fact, I'm happy to announce today that Facebook is one of our development partners, and we're excited to be working with them and many others to bring this solution into the market, as I said, in 2019. So we're really excited about the NNPI. This is a really big deal for us. It expands our position in AI above and beyond what we've done in Xeon and what we've done in Core into a new domain. Okay, so let me shift now from AI to another important transition that many here at CES are talking about, and that is 5G. There was a time when the communications industry and the computing industry were really kind of separate industries, parallel universes, if you will. But 5G is going to change that forever. The intersection of communications and computing is really what 5G is all about. There's new use cases that 5G will enable that require computing to move closer to the user. And no one is suited better than Intel to address these opportunities. We're taking an end-to-end approach to deliver on 5G from the edge to the device, to the core of the network, and of course in the data center. On the device side, you've heard us talk about already our intention to bring a 5G modem to market later in 2019. That, of course, follows the hundreds of millions of 4G modems that we've already introduced. But 5G requires us to expand our capabilities in the data center and bring them into the network. Why is that? Well, I talked a little bit about it earlier. New latency-sensitive use cases like autonomous driving, cloud gaming, industrial IoT. This level of low latency is only possible by moving compute to the point at which the data is actually being created and consumed. And so today we're announcing that we are expanding our decade-long investments in network infrastructure with a new network SoC codenamed Snow Ridge that is being developed specifically for 5G wireless access. The introduction of Snow Ridge is going to bring Intel architecture into a new place where it's never been before, and that is the wireless base station market. Historically, base stations are those things that we all drive by on cell phone towers. Those devices have been fixed function, proprietary hardware and software, and now they're being re-architected to run on Intel architecture. This is an example of a base station here. And what we're doing is we're taking all of the technology we've developed for the server market, we're shrinking it down, we're repurposing it, and we're developing it and fitting it into a very small form factor such as this, ruggedizing it so that it can sit eventually onto those cell phone towers that we all drive by, thereby moving servers essentially closer and closer to the user. And we wanted to take some risk here today and show you a very early development, silicon development of Snow Ridge in action using our latest 10 nanometer process technology. I have here a Snow Ridge machine that's using our Snow Ridge silicon. And here I have a system that's generating traffic. What I'm going to do now is use this system to generate traffic, and that will be then processed by Snow Ridge. So I'm going to start that process now. Click this, start that process now. And what you see on the animation on the screen is a simulation of the traffic being generated by this machine. It's now being it's flowing through Snow Ridge on this machine. And what you can see it doing is there's 5 different applications that are running here. A remote surgery application, a industrial IoT application, a piece of sports content, productivity application, and a virtual reality application. What Snow Ridge is able to do is it's able to differentiate between these different applications and prioritize the application that is most latency sensitive. In this case, the remote surgery application literally could mean the difference between life and death in terms of the responsiveness for that application. You can see that it's running at 100 gigabits of traffic, and it's able to prioritize that remote surgery application over the others. This is a simple example, but wouldn't be possible without the latency that you can bring into the market with a product like Snow Ridge and without what's possible with 5G. In this example, for example, imagine a world where a surgeon and a patient could be in a different location, and the surgeon could use a remote robot that mimics his hand gestures to instantaneously operate on a patient in a different location. These are the kind of things that will be possible as we think about the future. Now, we're excited about Snow Ridge. It'll take our position in the base station market from 0% just a few years ago to what we predict will be over 40% by the year 2022. So, GB showed you an early version of Ice Lake earlier. I'm going to show you another product now on 10 nanometer, our Ice Lake server silicon that follows Cascade Lake. And I'm going to show you this running backstage, just so you know that it's running live. Here you can see the guys showing you the system running backstage. This is the first time we've demonstrated this publicly. And what you can see here is that we are running a machine learning simulation with Ziva Dynamics software, and we're using it to create this character, Zeke the lion. On the left, what you can see is a machine learning simulation that's running on that Ice Lake server. And this is the model that's being used to create this character, Zeke. And on the right, what you can see is the Ziva software is then creating Zeke layer by layer, from the bones to the muscles to the skin, and then finally adding the fur. And you can see how the end result is incredibly lifelike. And what's pretty neat about this is literally we got Ice Lake silicon back just a few weeks ago, and already that it's capable of running machine learning simulations like this. So we're very excited about Ice Lake coming to the market in 2020, the follow-on to Cascade Lake, bringing new levels of performance per watt, new security features for our customers. In sum, what you've seen over the course of this presentation today is we've demonstrated for you 4 products running on our latest 10 nanometer process technology. Ice Lake client, Lakefield client, Snow Ridge for the data center, and Ice Lake for the data center. All having in common the 10 nanometer process technology, from the ultra low power in Lakefield to the highest performance in Ice Lake. So we're making very good progress on all of the products that will leverage the latest silicon process technology from Intel on 10 nanometer. Very exciting, and great to see the progress that the engineers are making. So finally here today, I want to discuss an industry that is being transformed in the data era, and that is the transportation industry. Intel acquired Mobileye a few years ago to help us accelerate the transformation of the transportation industry, particularly in the shift to autonomous driving. And what I'd like to do now is invite out our Senior Vice President and Mobileye's CEO, Professor Amnon Shashua, to join me here today to provide an update on the work that he's up to in this exciting space. Welcome, Amnon.
Nice to meet you. You did a great year for Intel and Mobileye.
So what have you been up to, Amnon? A lot going on in 2018 and so far in 2019 already, I think.
Well, we have been making great progress both on autonomous driving and driving assist. Our leadership in driving assist is as strong as ever. In 2018, 16 models had received the 5-star Euro NCAP rating, 12 of them Mobileye inside. As an example of our latest and greatest is this BMW X5. It comes with a trifocal camera configuration that was launched last year with an IQ4 chip. The trifocal setting leverages both wide field of view and narrow field of view to get range and to get also coverage, spatial coverage. The customer functions like long-range hazard detection, traffic light recognition, vehicles from any angle are all industry-first customer functions.
And this camera, this device has a lot more than just the front-facing camera.
Well, this is the production version is front-facing, and we fitted this car with 12 cameras. 3 of them are the production version, and included this car as part of our autonomous car fleet. So it follows our vision-centric approach, where we do a full-stack end-to-end capability, running an autonomous car, self-driving car, using only cameras, and then later adding radars and lidars to get a full redundancy.
Yeah. Other than the sensors, there's a bunch of compute in this car as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right now there are 8 IQ4s, but early next year there are going to be 3 IQ5 chips, which will be ready for production, which will give us both power consumption and almost infinite computing power that we will need.
So what about the IQ5?
So in addition to autonomous cars, we have here, this is the first IQ5 board together with the BMW and Aptiv. This is part of a 2021 production program from level 3 to level 4 and is running on an IQ5 chip. We have also volume productions of over 8 million units already for IQ5.
That's amazing. So when can I finally go buy one of these things? Tell me about that.
Well, from a technology perspective, we're working towards 2021. We've been consistent about that since 2016. But the industry is evolving, and Intel needs to prepare various solutions to match the needs of numerous different value nodes, from silicon only all the way up to a turnkey autonomous vehicle solution, up to a mobility as a service.
And you recently, I know you announced last year a partnership with Volkswagen to do this mobility as a service. Why is that such a big deal? Tell us about that.
Well, it's a breakthrough on a number of fronts. First, the company of the size of and reputation of Volkswagen relying on Intel through Mobileye to supply a full stack self-driving system that consists of silicon, software, hardware, planning, control, mapping. Second, the joint venture is supported by the Israeli government from the point of view of reducing and working on regulatory barriers to allow commercialization of autonomous cars. Now, the most critical element in these regulatory barriers is how to standardize safety, where robotaxis share the road with human drivers. So you are expected to be both safe and agile at the same time, and this creates a conflict. So at Mobileye, we developed an open standard we call responsibility sensitive safety, or RSS, and it finds a sweet spot between safety and agility while providing formal guarantees. So let's take a quick peek about how it looks like in a challenging environment like roads in Jerusalem. So what we see up there is a car blocking the highway. It's a dense, packed highway, and you see other cars are moving their way out, changing lanes. And you see the Intel vehicle with the logo on
the black
on the roof, the black one, which is now finding its way assertively and safely changing lane. And you'll see this now from under the hood inside. On the right hand, you'll see boxes representing vehicles. The color codes, the red and the green, are which vehicle that the car decides to take away or give way. And you see how it's changing, fighting its way through, negotiating through traffic in a very, very agile manner.
Yeah, that's so really impressive, Ahmad. So tell us a little bit more, because the maps are fundamental to making something like that happen. So tell us about what you're doing in that space.
Well, of course, this year we had some exciting results on our efforts to create global high definition maps. We just finished mapping our first country, all of Japan highways. It's a total of 25,000 kilometers in a completely automatic process, literally with a push of a button, based on crowdsourced data from Nissan's fleet. So this is in contrast to a conventional manual labor, expensive recording equipment of conventional high-definition map construction of today. So, for example, we have just embarked on a partnership with the world's leading mapping agency, Ordnance Survey, the National Mapping Agency of the UK. We are launching an initial data service offering with them for utility companies in the UK. So to leverage the landmark detection and semantic data that we extract from our cameras, we refer to our camera as an intelligent agent. And all this data is picked up at very, very high accuracy. So this data will be harvested by fleet vehicles outfitted with our retrofit system, the Mobileye 8 Connect. So here's a taste of what it might look like. So through this film that you're going to see shows the kinds of data that we're going to extract. So it's imagine that you can match under-the-road data like water pipe and gas lines with over-the-road data like manholes, drain holes, telegraph poles, all of those detected by the camera system. Don't forget that, of course, this also means that we'll map the UK for autonomous driving.
So that's great, Amnon. You mentioned some enhanced features there. What are those about?
Well, by using technologies developed in the AV sphere, we are innovating around driving assist to bring it a whole new level, much safer than today's driving assist. But I think we'll leave that for my talk tomorrow.
Okay,
stay tuned.
Okay, so Amnon's got an hour tomorrow if you're interested in hearing more. His talk is at 11:30. Thank you so much. Great progress, Amnon. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this 50 minutes or so here with you today. Let me quickly wrap up. We've really just scratched the surface of all of the things that we're working on to enable this next era of data-centric computing. As you heard at the beginning of this talk today, we are pursuing the largest opportunity in Intel's history of a $300 billion silicon TAM. We launched today our 9th generation core products for the desktop, and coming soon for the notebook. We're shipping our Cascade Lake Xeon with new features like DL Boost and Optane persistent memory. We're bringing Intel architecture to new areas like 5G with network SoCs such as Snow Ridge. And we're expanding our AI portfolio into the inference domain with a dedicated neural network processor for inference. We're making excellent progress, as you just heard from Amnon, on autonomous driving. And we showed you a glimpse of many products in many different domains on our 10 nanometer silicon process technology, from the client to the data center to the network, between Lakefield, Snow Ridge, Ice Lake for the client, and Ice Lake for the data center. And none of this we can do alone. We've always been about enabling an ecosystem. We're super excited about the partners and the customers we have on this journey with us, between Dell, and Comcast, and Alibaba, and Facebook, Wrench, and BMW, and many others, to help shape the future. So I want to leave you with one final thing, one final thought. As you may know, last year was Intel's 50th year as a company, our 50-year anniversary. And over the course of those 50 years, Intel has played an incredibly important role in driving many of the advancements that we all take for granted today. Yet, we've never been consumed by that history. Really, in fact, as we look forward to our 51st year, we're inspired by the words of our founder, Bob Noyce, who reminded us to not be encumbered by that history, but in fact to go out and to go do something wonderful. And that's exactly what every day we're hungry to go out and do. So thank you very much for joining us. Have a great CES. Thank you.